Good morning all, CamelbackTrading.org coming to you this Wednesday morning, February 7th. Looking at window traders and market profile of the ES and NQ. So I said we're going to treat this as an inside day yesterday, just like we did on Monday, because we barely took out yesterday's high. And as you can see right now, with 70 minutes to go, the market balanced at the upper end of yesterday's range above value 20 wide, and now they're making new highs. So again, just like yesterday, inside day, you come out of it, you go with it and monitor for continuation or lack of. Yesterday was clearly lack of. They came out of the inside day, absolutely look above and fail, and got rejected. Now, we didn't go to the other end of the range, which would have been the previous day's low, but we just stayed in that whole meet. We've traded the last 2 days and overnight between 60 and 69. That's been where we've stayed. So the market has balanced there inside of this 2 inside days. Now we're trying to come out of an inside day. Now, my balance high is not yesterday's high. It is the all-time high. So a couple of things will be in effect this morning in ES. Number one, inside day rules. And number two, balance rules. So we'll see if we get closer to the all-time high, if they just get close to it and roll over, slightly stretch it and roll over, or go through it without looking back. So keep that in mind. Now, NQ, different story. Their balance on the daily also, not an inside day, but look at this. 3 days highs very close to each other, including their all-time high. So again, the market is attempting to go to new highs here in the S&P and the NQ. The righty came back into balance yesterday on the daily. This is, again, I'm not going to call it just a 2-day balance. I would probably use at least this day, so I'd call it a 4-day balance. I'd like to see them take out this day to maybe call it up. I mean, bottom line is, look at this. This is one big mess for righty. Really nothing will be accomplished unless you take out this day's high. But baby steps are in order for them, as it usually is. So game plan for this morning, okay? Well, gaps. Gaps have not held well at all this year on either side. In fact, let me just get my trusty little sheet up. Upside gaps are 0 for 5. Downside gaps are 2 for 6. So we'll see if it's going to hold if we do gap. Yesterday was the third smallest range of the year, and it was also the second lightest volume of the year. So if we gap higher, if it gaps over $1 or so, I would not be interested in looking for a long, because then you're going to get closer to the balance high in 5,000. Might actually short it the first time if we were to open it, in the 90s. If we open in the 80s, if gap gets filled at 78. Not a bad risk reward if you want to take the long the first time. I wouldn't take it big because gaps have not held. And then maybe add if the gap fills and at the 20 wide POC. However, if we fail to take out the overnight high and then come back to those levels, I'll be a lot more cautious on my longs, because then the odds of getting the overnight low get better. If we get the overnight high first and then do that pullback, I'd be more comfortable with the higher value and getting the overnight high for that trade. So those would be longs on pullbacks, and the only short I would look for right now is possibly if we were to open up and push up close to the balance high and 5,000. And then on the chart, here's the daily, right? 3-day balance. Using this as a double inside day, come out of it, go with it, and monitor for continuation. And just as importantly, lack of. Thank you for liking and subscribing to this channel. Good luck trading today, and we'll recap at 4 p.m.